Good morning, people. I hope everybody has had a good week. Today is Thursday. Today is the third and final iteration of the Mr. Westbrook Math Show. I know you're going to miss your daily broadcast. I'm going to let you guys get started on your check for understanding because we should already have that open because I know we're all in our seats and we're working. I know we're working. I'm going to let you all go for about 5 minutes so you can get that done, and then we're going to come back, we're going to look at it, and we're going to keep working on systems by elimination. So go make it happen. All right, here we go. Problem number 1. Which of the following graphs represents the region defined by the inequality y is greater than 4x minus 3? First thing we should notice is right here is that greater than symbol. So that means we're looking for a dashed line. So we're going to look down these graphs. Number 1 is good because it has a dashed line. Number 2 is not solid line. 3 is not solid line. 4 is good, dashed line. Now I'm going to plug in 0, 0. Is 0 greater than 4 times 0 minus 3? Is 0 greater than negative 3? Yes, it is. That's a true statement. So that means I'm looking for the graph where 0, 0 is shaded. So that would be this first graph here. Because if we look here at this last graph, 0, 0 is not shaded. We're looking for a true statement because 0, 0 is part of the solution. Next. Problem number 2. Leonard compared the cost of purchasing a gallon of gas at 2 different gas stations. The function C of G equals $3.25 plus 7 cents per mile. What is the average cost of a gallon of gas at the first gas station? The table shows the average cost of a gallon at the second gas station after a different number of months. So I made a table on Desmos, you can see right here, and I plugged in for my line of best fit. And so my line of best fit has a slope of 3 and a y-intercept of 3.34. So what I notice is that the second equation has a higher y-intercept but a lower slope. So my second equation has a higher y-intercept but a lower slope. So the second has a higher initial price, so that my y-intercept, and a lower slope but increased at a smaller amount. So the correct answer is right here. It is C. All right, problem number 3. Which system of inequalities is represented by the graph below? I look at all of these. None of these are written in slope-intercept form. They're all written in standard form, which means I'm going to have to convert them. But I'm going to start with my dashed line right here. So when I look, my dashed line starts at positive 2, and it has a slope of down, let's see, down 3 over 2. So that means it's either going to be y is greater than negative 3/2 x plus 2, or y is less than negative 3/2 x plus 2. And I notice that 0, 0 would be shaded for this one. So I'm looking for a true statement. So I plug in 0. Is 0 greater than negative 3/2 times 0, so that's 0 plus 2, or is 0 less than negative 3/2 times 0, 0 plus 2. And the correct answer, because 0, 0 was shaded in, is actually this one right here. So that is an equation that I am looking for. And that's important for you to remember as I go through these answer choices. So I'm going to rewrite that up at the top. Looking for y is less than negative 3/2 x plus 2. So I'm going to get rid of these. All right. Now, why is that important? Because right here, I notice this. This equation, that first equation, I know that that is the equation that applies to this line. So we have 3x plus 2y is less than or equal to 4. I would have to subtract the 3x from both sides. I'd be left with 2y is less than or equal to negative 3x plus 4. And I'd divide that by 2, and I would get y is less than or equal to negative 3/2 x plus 2. And that's not the equation I am looking for, but I do know that this is the setup for the one I do need to find. So I know that in no way can it be A. But I also know because it can't be A, it can't be D. And so that leaves me with B versus C. Now, just by the way this equation was written, I can immediately tell that C is the correct answer. But I'm going to prove it to you. So 3x plus 2y is less than 4. Subtract 3x from both sides. 2y is less than negative 3x plus 4. Divide by 2. Y is less than negative 3/2 x plus 2. That lines up with the equation that we needed in the very beginning. All right, number 4. Gordon has enough fencing to enclose a rectangular garden with a perimeter of 120 feet. If the width of his garden is 4 feet less than the length, what is the width in feet of the garden? All right, so I'm going to go to my whiteboard. Gordon has a rectangular garden, so I'm going to draw a rectangle. And it says that the perimeter is 120. So perimeter means to add all the sides. Add sides. Okay. The width of his garden is 4 feet less than the length. So I don't know the length. I'm going to label it L. And the width is 4 feet less. So I'm going to say L minus 4. L minus 4. Okay. Perimeter means to add. We know that the perimeter is 120. So we're going to add all of our sides. L plus L plus L minus 4 plus L minus 4 has to equal 120. Combine our like terms. So L, 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 and L. 4L. Negative 4, negative 4, negative 8 equals 120. I'm going to add 8 to both sides. 4L equals 128. I divide this by 4. 128 divided by 4 is 32, so L equals 32. And if L equals 32, the width is L minus 4, so that means the width is 28. And we can check. Is 32 plus 32 plus 28 plus 28 equal to 120? 2 plus 2 is 4, plus 8 is 12, plus 8 is 20. Carry the 2. 2 plus 3 is 5, plus 3 is 8, plus 2 is 10, plus 2 is 12. It works out. Yay. All right, people, homework B, let's have it out. Here we go. We're going to go over it. Check your work as we go. Immediately, when I look at number 3, I notice that these two x's, they're going to cancel each other out. Positive x, negative x equals 0. So when I combine these two equations, I'm going to end up with 5y equals negative 15. I'm going to divide this out by 5, and I'm going to get y equals negative 3. I'm going to take that negative 3, I'm going to plug it back in. So that means that x plus 3 times negative 3 has to equal negative 7. So x minus 9 equals negative 7. I'm going to add 9 to both sides. and I'm going to get that x equals negative 2. Or sorry, x equals positive 2. I don't know what I was saying. X equals positive 2, and I'm going to check that. So, negative 2 plus 2 times negative 3. So, negative 2 plus negative 6 does in fact equal negative 8. So, we know that our solution is correct. I'm going to look over here at number 4. Right off the bat, I know immediately that my y's are going to cancel. So I'm going to end up with, I'm going to do this one in a different color. I'm going to end up with 5x equals negative 45. I'm going to divide by 5, divide by 5, and I'm going to get x equals negative 9. I'm going to take that negative 9, I'm going to plug it back in. So 3 times negative 9 plus y equals negative 26. Negative 27 plus y equals negative 26. Add 27 to both sides. Y equals 1. I'm going to check my answer. 2 times negative 9 is negative 18. Negative 18 minus 1 does in fact equal negative 19, so we know our solution is correct. And last but not least, I'm going to look at number 5. X plus 3y equals negative 14. 2x minus 4y equals 32. I don't have anything I can immediately offset, so I'm going to get rid of my x's. I'm going to multiply my top equation times negative 2. So I'm going to end up with negative 2x minus 6y equals positive 28. And positive 2x minus 4y equals 32. I'm going to combine, so I'm going to get rid of these x's, and I'm going to end up with negative 10y equals negative 60. Sorry, positive 60. Got everything backwards today. Divide by negative 10, divide by negative 10. Y is going to equal negative 6. I'm going to take this negative 6, I'm going to plug it back in. So we're going to say x plus 3 times negative 6 equals negative 14. So x minus 18 equals negative 14. I'm going to add 18 to both sides, and I'm going to get x equals 4. We're going to check our answer. So 2 times 4 is 8, and negative 4 times negative 6 is positive 24, and 8 plus 24 does equal 32. So we know our solution is correct. All right, number 6. When I look at number 6, I notice that I do not have offsetting variables. So I can choose to do one of two things. I can either multiply my bottom equation times 2 and get rid of my x's, or multiply my top equation times 3 and get rid of my y's. It really does not matter which one you pick. You're going to end up with the same result either way. I'm going to choose to get rid of my x's, so that's going to leave me with this, 4x so that's going to leave me with this, 4x minus y equals negative 5, and negative 4x plus 6y equals 20. Now, my x's will cancel, and I'll end up with 5y equals 15. And I'm going to divide by 5, and I'm going to get that y equals 3. I'm going to take this 3 and I'm going to plug it back in. So 4 times x minus 3 equals negative 5. I'm going to add 3 to both sides. 4x equals negative 2. Divide by 4, divide by 4. X equals negative 1/2. All right, we're going to check this again against the second equation. So negative 2 times negative 1/2 plus 3 times 3 equals 10. Negative, negative, positive. So that's 1. 3 times 3 is 9, and 1 plus 9 does equal 10. Problem number 7. Y minus 3x equals 11. 2y minus x equals 2. I do not have offsetting variables. I'm going to take my top equation. I'm going to multiply it times negative 2 so that I can get rid of my y's. So what I'm going to end up with is negative 2y plus 6x equals negative 22. And then my bottom equation is going to be positive 2y minus x equals 2. All right, I'm going to combine these, so my y's will cancel, and I'll end up with 5x equals negative 20. Divide by 5, divide by 5, x equals negative 4. I'm going to take that, I'm going to plug it back in. So, y minus 3x was 11. So y minus 3 times negative 4 equals 11. Y plus 12 equals 11. Subtract 12 from both sides. Y equals negative 1. We're going to check that against our second equation. Okay, so 2 times negative 1 minus negative 4. Does that equal 2? 2 times negative 1 is negative 2. Minus negative 4 is the same as adding. And negative 2 plus 4 does equal 2. So we know our solution is correct. All right, number 8. When I look at this equation, negative 10x plus y equals 0, and then I look at 5x plus 3y equals negative 7, I notice my negative 10x versus my positive 5x. And I'm going to do my best to cancel these two variables. 5 is a multiple of 10, so it's real simple to take this bottom equation right here and multiply it times 2. So I'm going to end up with negative 10x plus y equals 0, and then positive 10x plus 6y equals negative 14. I'm going to combine my like terms, and I'm going to end up with 7y equals negative 14, which means y equals negative 2. And I'm going to take that negative 2 and I'm going to plug it in. Okay, so 5x plus 3 times negative 2 equals negative 7. Five x minus 6 equals negative 7. I'm going to add 6 to both sides. 5x equals negative 1. Divide by 5. Divide by 5. X equals negative 0.2. We're going to see if that's true. So negative 10 times negative 0.2 plus negative 2 equals 0. Let's see if that's right. Negative 10 times negative 0.2 is 2, and 2 minus 2 does in fact equal 0. So we know our solution is correct. Here we go, number 9. Brianna's family spent $134 on 2 adult tickets and 3 youth tickets at an amusement park. Max's family spent $146 on 3 adult tickets and 2 youth tickets. what is the price of a youth ticket? So we're going to have A for adult and Y for youth. The first equation we write is going to be about Brianna's family. So we know that 2 adult tickets, or 2A, plus 3 youth tickets, or 3Y, has to equal $134. Now we can write Max's family. Max's family, we know that 3A, or 3 adult tickets, plus 2Y, 2 youth tickets, is $146. Okay. When I look at these two equations, I can't cancel anything out. So I'm going to have to fix both of them to get 2 variables that I can get rid of. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply this entire top equation right here times 3. And I'm going to multiply my bottom equation right here times -2. And that's going to leave me with this. So that's going to make my top equation turn into this. 6A plus 9Y equals 402. And it's going to make my bottom equation turn into -6A minus 4Y equals -292. All right. Now, you'll notice right away my A's are going to cancel. And I'm going to be left with 5Y equals 402 minus 292 is 110. Divide everything out by 5, and we get Y equals 22. We're going to take this, we're going to plug it into our equation. So 2A plus 3 times 22 equals 134. 2A plus 66 equals 134. Minus 66 from both sides. 134 minus 66 is going to be 68. So 2A equals 68. That means A equals 34. And we're going to check our math. So 3 times 34 plus 2 times 22 needs to equal 146. 3 times 34 is 102. 2 times 22 is 44. 102 plus 44 does equal 146. So we know we're good. Youth tickets are $22 and adult tickets are $34. All right, number 8. Carl bought 19 apples of 2 different varieties to make a pie. The cost of the apples was $5.10. Granny Smith apples cost 25 cents each, and Gala apples cost 30 cents each. How many of each apple did Carl buy? All right, so we're going to have 2 equations. We're going to have x plus y equals 19. And I'm going to say x equals the GS apples, the Granny Smith apples, and y equals the Gala apples. Okay. Now, Granny Smith's cost 25 cents each, so 0.25x. Gala apples cost 30 cents each, so plus 0.3y for a total cost of $5.10. Now, does not matter, like I said, doesn't matter which variable you choose to get rid of. In this case, I'm going to get rid of my x's. So I'm going to take this whole top equation right here, and I'm going to multiply it times 0.25, actually negative 0.25. Okay, erase this. Now, what I'm going to end up with is negative 0.25x minus 0.25y equals negative, let's see, 4.75. Okay. Combine, I'm going to end up with 0.05y equals 0.35. Divide this out. Y equals 7. Take that 7, plug it back in. If y is 7, then x is 12. And we're going to check our math. So 0.25 times 12 plus 0.3 times 7 needs to equal $5.10. 0.25 times 12 is 3. 0.3 times 7 is $2.10, and $3 plus $2.10 does equal $5.10. So they bought 12 Granny Smith and 7 Gala. I'm going to write that down. 12 Granny Smith and 7 Gala apples. Okay. You, by yourself or with the people around you, volume at a low roar, are going to work on problems 1, 2, A and B, as well as the first 2 word problems from the homework for homework number 6. So we'll do that again. You're going to work on problems 1, 2, A and B in the notes, and the word problems 5 and 6 in the homework. Okay? I'll let you guys get to it, and we will come back and we will go over them. All right, here we go. Number 1. 3x plus 5y equals 10. 5x plus 7y equals 10. I don't have any variables that are offset from each other, and I don't have any variables that are positive, negative. So what I need to do is I need to be able to eliminate one of my equations. So one of them has to be positive and the other one has to be the negative of that same number. In order to do that, I need to find the lowest common multiple that these two share. So what I mean then is if I look at this 3 and the 5, 3 and 5 share a lowest common multiple of 15. If I look at 5 and 7, they share a lowest common multiple of 35. I'm going to choose to get rid of my x's. So I'm going to take my top equation. I'm going to multiply it times negative 5. I'm going to take my bottom equation and I'm going to multiply it times positive 3. And it doesn't really matter. You can do vice versa, either or. You end up with the same result. So my top equation is going to be negative 15x minus 25y equals negative 50. My bottom equation is going to be positive 15x plus 21y equals 30. My x's will cancel, and I'll be left with negative 4y equals negative 20. Divide it out, and we'll get y equals 5. Or take this 5, we're going to plug it back in. So 3x plus 5 times 5 equals 10. 3x plus 25 equals 10. Subtract 25 from both sides. 3x equals negative 15. X equals negative 5. And let's check. 5 times negative 5 is negative 25. 7 times 5 is 35. Negative 25 plus 35 equals 10. We're going to look at number 2. All right, number 2. 15x plus 3y equals 9. 10x plus 7y equals negative 4. What I immediately notice is that my 15 and my 10, they share a lowest common multiple of 30. So I'm going to offset them from each other. So I'm going to take my top equation and I'm going to multiply it times 2, and I'm going to take my bottom equation and I'm going to multiply it times negative 3. So that's going to give me 30x plus 6y equals 18. And in my bottom equation, I'm going to have negative 30x minus 21y equals 12. My x's will cancel, and I'll get negative 15y equals 30. I'll divide it out. Y equals negative 2. I'm going to take this, I'm going to plug it back in. So 15x plus 3 times negative 2 equals 9. 15x minus 6 equals 9. Add 6 to both sides. 15x equals 15. That means x equals 1. Let's check. 10 times 1 is 10. 7 times negative 2 is negative 14. 10 minus 14 equals negative 4. So I know that I'm correct. When I look at A, 2x minus 3y equals negative 11 and 3x plus 2y equals 29, I'm immediately drawn to right here, negative, positive. I can get rid of my y's. They share a lowest common multiple of 6. So I'm going to take my top equation and I'm going to multiply it times 2. And I'm going to take my bottom equation and I'm going to multiply it times 3. So my top equation is going to turn into 4x minus 6y equals negative 22. And my bottom equation is going to turn into 9x plus 6y equals 87. My y's will cancel, and I'll have 13x equals 65. Divide it out, x equals 5. I'm going to take that 5, I'm going to plug it in. So 2 times 5 minus 3y equals negative 11. 10 minus 3y equals negative 11. Minus 10 from both sides. Negative 3y equals negative 21. Divide it out. Y equals 7. Let's check our math. 3 times 5 is 15. 2 times 7 is 14. 15 plus 14 equals 29. I'm going to look at B. I noticed that my y is positive in my first equation, it's negative in my second. These two share a common multiple of 14. So I'm going to take my top equation. I'm going to multiply it times 2. I'm going to take my bottom equation. I'm going to multiply it times 7. So 10x plus 14y equals negative 2. And 28x minus 14y equals 154. Combine like terms. 38x equals 152. Divide by 38. X equals 4. Take that 4, plug it in. So 5 times 4 plus 7y equals -1. 20 plus 7y equals -1. Subtract 20 from both sides. 7y equals -21. That means y equals -3. Let's check. 4 times 4 is 16. -2 times -3 is 6. 16 plus 6 is 22. All right. Keywords. The sum means to add, of two numbers is 30. The sum of the greater number and 3 times the lesser is 54. Find the numbers. So we have sum 3 times. All right. So we're going to say that X is the big one and Y is the little number. Okay. So the sum is 30. So my first equation, X plus Y equals 30. My second equation, the sum of the greater number, so X, and 3 times the lesser, so 3Y, equals 54. Okay, find the numbers. Well, I'm going to take my top equation because I have an X here and an X here, and I'm going to multiply my top equation times -1. So I'm going to have -X minus Y equals -30. My X's will cancel. 2Y equals 24. That means Y equals 12. If Y equals 12, X equals 18. 18 plus 12 is 30. Let's check and see if we're right. 3 times 12 is 36. 18 plus 36 equals 54. And let's look at number 6. Shopping at Savers Mart. Lisa buys her children 4 shirts and 3 pairs of pants for $85.50. She returns the next day and buys 3 shirts and 5 pairs of pants for $115. What is the price of each shirt and each pair of pants? Okay, so equation number 1. 4 shirts and 3 pants. 4S plus 3P equals 85.5 or $85.50. Equation number 2. 3S plus 5P equals $115. Make that S look better. Okay. Now, pick a variable that you want to get rid of. It does not really matter which one. I'm going to get rid of my P's. So I'm going to take my top equation and I'm going to multiply it times -5, and I'm going to take my bottom equation and I'm going to multiply it times 3. Okay. So what I'm going to end up with is -20S minus 15P equals -427.5. And my bottom equation, I'm going to end up with 9S plus 15P equals 345. My P's will cancel. -11S equals, we'll do the math, negative 427.5 plus 345, negative 82.5. Divide that by 11. S equals $7.50. We're going to take that, we're going to plug it in. So 4 times 750 plus 3p equals 85.5. 30 plus 3p equals 85.5. Subtract 30 from both sides. 3p equals 55.5. Divide by 3, divide by 3. 55.5 divided by 3 is 18.5. So P equals 18.5, and we'll check. Using our second equation, we will check the math. So what we're going to ask is 3 times 7.5 plus 5 times 18.5 equal to 115? And the answer is yes, it does work out. So we know pants are $18.50 and shirts are $7.50. Okay, here's what we are going to. All right, here we go. Check for understanding. We're going to go past the word problem this first time, and we'll go back to it. We're going to look at this second problem right here. 9x plus 2y equals 16, and x minus 2y is 4. But I notice immediately is that my y's are going to cancel each other out. And so I'm going to be left with 10x equals 20. Divide by 10, divide by 10, x equals 2. We're going to look at our second problem. X plus 4y is 9 and 5x plus 10y is 5. Now, I don't have anything that will offset from each other in this one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my top equation and I'm going to multiply it times negative 5. This whole top equation. And that's going to give me negative 5x minus 20y equals negative 45. And you'll see my x's will cancel. And I'll be left with negative 10y equals negative 40. Divide by negative 10, divide by negative 10, y equals 4. Now we will look at our word problem. At an airport restaurant, 2 sodas and 4 hamburgers cost $12. An order of 4 sodas and 2 hamburgers costs $9. How much does 1 hamburger cost? So we need 2 equations. So I'm going to say 2s, 2 sodas, plus 4h, 4 hamburgers, has to equal $12. And then I'm going to say 4s, 4 sodas, plus 2h, 2 hamburgers, has to equal $9. I'm going to take my top equation. I want to know what my hamburgers cost, so I'm going to get rid of my s's. I'm going to take my top equation and I'm going to multiply it times negative 2. And so that's going to give me negative 4s minus 8h equals negative 24. And I'll end up with 6h equals, and let's see, 9 minus 24, 6h is going to equal 15. divide by 6, divide by 6, h equals 2.5, or $2.50 a hamburger. All right, people. I know it's been a rough few days, but you made it. Thank you for being on your best behavior, doing what you needed to do. If I don't see you, have a wonderful Christmas break. And do not forget to make up all of your missing work. Y'all thought I forgot about that. I didn't. Anyway, have a good rest of your day. Bye, y'all. All right, here we go. Number 1, the correct answer is 2.5. If you got 2.5, we can move on to the next video problem. Let's work it out. 6x plus 3y is 27. Negative 4x plus 7y is 27. I'm going to look at these two variables, my x's. I notice that one's positive, one's negative, so I'm going to cancel them out. So multiply my whole top equation times 4 and my whole bottom equation times 6. So that's going to give me 24x plus 12y equals 108. And in my bottom equation, I'm going to have negative 24x plus 42y equals, let's see, 6 times 21, 62. Okay, my x's will cancel. 54y equals 270. Divide by 54, and we get y equals 5. We're going to take that 5, we're going to plug it in. So 6x plus 3 times 5 equals 27. 6x plus 15 equals 27. Minus 15 from both sides. 6x equals 12, x equals 2. The correct answer for number 2 is 2 and negative 1. If we got 2 and negative 1, we can move on to the next problem. Let's work it out. 4x plus 5y is 3, 3x minus 2y is 8. I notice that my y's are offset from each other. So I'm going to take my whole top equation and I'm going to multiply it times 2. And I'm going to take my whole bottom equation, I'm going to multiply it times 5. And so I'm going to have 8x plus 10y equals 6. And I'm going to have 15x minus 10y equals 40. My y's will cancel. I'll have 23x equals 46. We'll divide out by 23, divide by 23, x equals 2. I'm going to take this 2, I'm going to plug it in. 4 times 2 plus 5y equals 3. 8 plus 5y equals 3. Subtract 8 from both sides. 5y equals negative 5. Y equals negative 1. Problem number 3, the answer is 8 and 7. If we got 8 and 7, we can move on to the next problem. If not, let's work it out. 4x minus 3y equals 11. 3x minus 5y equals negative 11. I don't have anything offset, So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of my x's. I'm going to multiply my top equation times 3, and I'm going to multiply my bottom equation times -4. These two share a common multiple of 12. So I'm going to end up with 12x minus 9y equals 33. And I'm going to end up with -12x plus 20y equals +44. My x's will cancel. -9 plus 20 is 11. So 11y equals 77. Divide by 11, y equals 7. Take this 7, plug it back in. So 4x minus 3 times 7 equals 11. 4x minus 21 equals 11. Add 21 to both sides. 4x equals 32. Divide by 4, divide by 4. X equals 8. Problem number 4. The correct answer is 4 and 2.5. If we got this answer, we can move on to our word problem. If not, let's work it out. 5x plus 8y is 40. 3x minus 10y is -13. I notice my +8 and my -10. These are offset from each other. 8 and 10 share the lowest common multiple of 40. So I'm going to multiply my top equation times 5. And I'm going to multiply my bottom equation times 4. So I'm going to end up with 25x plus 40y equals 200. And I'm going to end up with 12x minus 40y equals -52. My y's will cancel. And I'll end up with 37x equals 148. I'm going to divide by 37, and I'm going to get x equals 4. I'm going to take this 4, I'm going to plug it in. 5 times 4 plus 8y equals 40. 20 plus 8y equals 40. Subtract 20 from both sides. 8y equals 20. Divide by 8. Divide by 8. Y equals 2.5. Problem number 7. Admission was $6. And the tickets for the rides were $2. If we got this answer, we are done. If not, let's go over it. So my two equations. An amusement park charges admission plus a fee. Admission plus 2 rides cost $10. So A plus 2x equals 10. Admission plus 5 rides cost $16. A plus 5x equals 16. What is the charge for admission and the cost of a ride? My A's, I have singular A's, so I'm going to get rid of my A's. I'm going to take this top equation, I'm going to multiply it times -1. And so that will give me -a minus 2x equals -10. My A's will cancel. I'll have 3x equals 6, which means x equals 2. I'll take that 2 and I'll plug it in. A plus 2 times 2 equals 10. A plus 4 equals 10. A equals 6. And I'll check. 5 times 2 is 10. 6 plus 10 equals 16.